What's good, everybody? It's your girl Marcia, and I'm here to let you know that during quarantine you don't have to be completely bored. You can garden like me. Now, that doesn't mean that you necessarily have to have an outdoor garden in the ground or pallets of dirt that are growing plants and such. Actually, this video is for the person at home that doesn't have that but still would like to try to grow some plants. This is the 5 basic steps to growing seeds at home. Disclaimer, I am not a seed expert, plant expert. I don't know all the information, but these are the 5 basic steps that anybody literally needs to know in order to start growing plants. First step, you want to know what you're going to plant and if it's going to grow, where you're at, and during the season you're in. So you got to do your research. Google is your best friend. YouTube is entirely your best friend. Obviously, you're on it right now. Go on these 2 platforms, figure out what seeds grow the best during the season that you're in and where you're at. Here in Florida, there are a variety of plants that can start during this season, which is the spring season between March and June, I guess. There are many options for you. There's a lot of information out there, so figure out if you want to plant flowers or if you want to plant vegetables or fruits, and then after you figure out what you want to do, figure out which ones grow here in Florida during the season. All right, on to step 2, you want to get your supplies. Now, a lot of people might think that gardening is really expensive. There's a lot of different elements to gardening, and it absolutely can be. The truth is, we have a store here in America called the Dollar Tree, and it is your second best friend in this whole gardening ordeal. There is an entire section dedicated to you and you beginning your garden. They have starter pots like these right here. These actually come 12 in a pack for $1. They also have seeds there. I heard they also have soil there. I hadn't seen the soil myself, but if it's there, you better get it. Also at the Dollar Tree, you want to make sure that you get something that identifies the seeds that you are planting. Either popsicle sticks that you can put into your soil, or get a marker that you can mark your starter pots with, okay? This is going to be extremely helpful. If you forget this step, it's going to be hard to know what is what when it's growing. You can be really creative with this process too. See, I was super basic and I just wrote it on here, but you can do some painting if you want to with your popsicle sticks. You can draw on them and, do different colorful things. You can paint them, whatever you want to do. It's a really fun project. And the Dollar Tree has all of the different options for you to be super creative with your gardening and beginning your seeds. So get creative. Now, if you cannot find soil at your local Dollar Tree, I want you to go to Home Depot or Lowe's, ask the employee there to direct you to the soil that's best for starting seeds, which generally speaking, they're gonna bring you to potting soil. Potting soil is it's a fluffy soil. It's very lightweight. It gives the roots of the seed the opportunity to freely grow without having to work too hard. Now, if you don't have access to that kind of soil, then you go outside and you find some dirt that is not too dense. If you find sand is not your best friend. But if you find some dirt solution that's kind of like just a mixture of different things and it seems fluffy enough, then use it, because it still might work. You're not going to spend that much money on your pots, your seeds, and your soil. You really only need like $10, if that. All right, now that's step 2. You want to make sure you get your pots, your soil, your seeds, and something to identify your plants as they grow. I forgot one item for step 2. You want to make sure that with these starter pots that have the holes, you have something that will collect water as it drains through your soil, okay? I got, those things that you see at the cookouts, those aluminum pans you see at the cookouts that hold the chicken and everything like that. I got one of those, and they're at the Dollar Tree as well. And I was able to fit all my pots inside there, and it's able to catch all the water, all the excess water that comes out when I'm watering my pot. That's one item you do not want to forget, so definitely get that. Step 3, we're gonna go ahead and add the soil and the seeds into our starting pots. Now, as you see here, I am filling my pots up with some dirt that I got from outside. It was a combination of dirt that I got from outside and some soil that I actually purchased from Home Depot that's actually for outdoor plants. But this is all I had and this is what I wanted to do, so I did it anyways. I put that soil in my pots and I filled it up, not all the way up to the top, but I did fill it up quite far. Now, the truth is, once you add water to your soil, it's going to shrink down. And so it's important that you put enough soil in there that's going to give your seeds enough depth in order to grow. Now, after I filled up all of my pots and I've already got them named and ready to go, I go ahead and I read the instructions on the back of the seed packets. It tells me how deep the seeds need to be sowed, and it also gives me some information on how long it might take to germinate. Germination is the process of the seed growing from seed to sprout. It's a whole scientific process. It's not basic, so I'm not going to go over it. You can YouTube that part. Now, it's important to plant multiple seeds in each pot. This is going to give you a better chance at getting something to sprout. I learned the hard way by only planting one seed a pot that you might not have a seed that actually works. Now, in each hole that you put in your pot, I will recommend that you sow between 2 to 3 seeds per seed. Now, the bigger the seed is, the less seeds that you need to put in each hole. After you have sowed all of your seeds, you want to cover them up with dirt, and then you want to go on to step 4. Step 4 is watering your plants. Now, make sure that you have your pots and something that's going to collect the water, either that tin foil pan that I said or something else. Now, once you begin to water, make sure that you have something that's going to water your pots evenly. Because if you pour water straight onto the soil, it's going to shrink down. The seeds might move around and might become displaced, or they might be buried even deeper, too deep, to the point where they may not sprout from your soil. So it's important that you have something that's going to gently and evenly water your soil. I recommend using a spray bottle. Spray bottles are very accessible and cheap. You can get them from the Dollar Tree as well. I'd recommend that you start with the spray bottle first. Now, after you've watered your seeds, you want to go to step 5. Step 5 is one of the most important steps: sunlight. Make sure that your seeds get anywhere between 6 to 8 hours of sunlight per day. Now, this might be difficult for some people that live in an area where the sun is blocked by buildings or big trees or something like that. So it's important that during your planting time, you find this area in your house or outside that will give a good amount of light throughout the day. So you want to make sure that your plants are either placed by a window, or they're placed out on a table outside on your porch or by the front door, someplace where the light is going to shine a long time. Now, you could get a little bit technical with it if you want to and get a UV light, but that's being extra, and also that's spending more money, so I don't really recommend it. Just find a place where the sun does shine. Now, that's the last and final step to starting your seeds. It's very possible and it's very fun. But before we go, I want to give you one last important tip. It's one of the most important things that you need to have during this entire process. That is patience. It is something else to sit there and just wonder, when are you going to see these seeds sprout? You gotta have patience. It's really important. If you put it in the right soil and you give it water every day and it has enough sunlight, it will grow. You just have to give it some time. And after you give it some time, you'll finally see a sprout, and it's gonna be the best thing ever. I can remember the first time I saw one of my seeds sprout. It was actually a green bean, and I was like, oh my goodness, it's coming out of the ground. It was so much fun to see that I sowed a seed and it actually grew. So if anything, y'all, this will help the time of quarantine pass quicker, because you're gonna be sitting there waiting to see your seeds sprout, and then when they do, you're gonna sit there and wait to see them grow into the actual vegetable or flower you have expected it to grow into. And it's really exciting, it's really fun, and I hope that y'all have so much fun doing this. All right, y'all, happy quarantining, and y'all be blessed. All right, bye.